the greatest player in the history of hockey. Better than
Uh,
Gretzky, better than Lemieux. If you play, you have to know knowledge of sports as in hockey, not just basketball.
okay. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome. This is the Real Work Podcast. No excuses, no illusions, just real work. I'm Anthony Goods, one of your co-hosts here, assistant coach at Arkansas State. Been around the world, probably held every position in basketball, every job in basketball. Sweep floors. I do a little bit of everything, Frankie. And I am joined by my my much younger looking co-host,
Thank you.
Francis Matrisciano. Francis
Thank
is
you.
a life trainer. Some people would probably call you a strength and conditioning
They
coach,
call
but
me
I feel
life
like
changer. Once again, we always
life
again life
changer.
changer, life changer. I
Yeah,
just go
but
with
for
what
those,
people. I go by what people call me, man. I don't care about that crap.
okay, let me get through the intro, Frank. Thanks. So, for people that don't know, Francis has worked with tons of hardworking individuals, and most notably, though, many players in the NBA, NFL. You've got a Super Bowl champ that's come through your stairs in Sand Hills, and a lot of NBA talent as well as people with many other sports and disciplines. So, very well accomplished life changer, as he likes to say. And yeah, he's gonna join me and touch on some topics today. So what's going on, Frank? How's your health? Let me do my wellness check, and then we can move forward.
I'm always well, sir. I'm blessed.
Okay. Okay.
And
Good.
when I say
Good.
that so
Good.
people understand, I want to get too crazy with everybody right now. But I tell people, I woke up this morning, I can see you, I can hear you, I can fortunately sit up and stand right now. Do you know how many people right now in the world would trade places with me?
I know,
They
cause I
can't, they
mean,
can't, they can't sit. I mean, they can't stand up from sitting. They can't see, they can't hear. So I won't complain. I'm blessed.
yeah,
Unless there's a
I
bomb going off inside me I don't know about yet. I'm always well. I'm always
love
well,
it.
sir.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. We're doing well on this side of Middle America as well, sir. So I hope you're in a. I'm glad to see you're in good spirits, man. But we got a lot to talk about, man. The news wire was buzzing this week. Unfortunately, because some NCAA players, I think up to 19, allegedly 16, allegedly alleged NCAA players have been caught in some gambling schemes. Um, it's unfortunate we're seeing this so common in the NBA and the NCAA and whatnot, but Frank, where do we start with this, man? This is obviously something that's been going on since the beginning of time, but it's really starting to surface and show its head right now. Why all
Well,
of a
the
sudden?
reason it's surfacing right now is because it was always underneath the cover, so to speak. Listen, you were in basketball many years ago in the college ranks, schools with their quote unquote recruiting, okay? Bags of money, bags of money. I would always tell guys, listen, you don't always have to take the bag right away, okay?
Right.
And all these high profile college coaches, they're dropping that bag. They know what's going on. They may not be literally giving it to them themselves, but they know what Booster was doing it, right? So the gambling has always been there. I don't know who, I mean, we had our bookies in the city, wherever we were. Everyone had a bookie, but it was illegal. So you had stuff going on forever. Players fixing games. Shit, this stuff goes back. I mean, before my time, but you have stuff in the 50s and stuff. Games being fixed. Uh, go further along. NBA referees fixing games, getting paid. Players, oh, you missed a free throw here, a free throw there. But what did anyone expect by bringing it to where it is now? I know there's a lot of hypocrisy. Okay, you ever hear of Pete Rose?
Yeah. Of
Well, I don't know.
course.
Some guy you don't hear about. Some people. I just want to make sure you heard of Pete Rose. This
Yeah,
guy is
I
not
haven't
in the
heard of
hall.
Bobby Hurley, the hockey player, but I've
Bobby
heard of Pete
Hurley,
Rose. Yeah,
Bobby Orr, Bobby Orr. That's a
Bobby.
different
Yeah.
topic. Best player in the history of hockey. And but Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame because he gambled. Okay,
Right.
so now you have the hypocrisy of the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, okay, the integrity of the game. Well, everyone's the integrity of the game. Meanwhile, you see billions of dollars in front of your face, and now it's okay to gamble. All of a sudden, it's okay to gamble. You have
Mhm.
kiosks. You have stuff I believe, and I don't get involved in it, but on these sites, and maybe you can help me out. Can't you bet on stuff that's like, is he going to get a double next? You're sitting in your seat. Is he going to strike out? You can bet
Right.
on anything. These prop bets, it's no longer going to a casino. It's right on your phone. So now it's out there. And I'm saying, wait a minute. What happened to the integrity of the game, Goodell? What happened, Manfred? What happened to the integrity of the game, boys? I don't get it. What happened to Adam Silver? You see dollar signs with all of these bookie places that are legal now, and that's why it is what it is. Not for the integrity of the game. Nothing's changed since Pete Rose wasn't allowed in. It's changed because now those dollars are coming your way, right? That's what it's all
Hmm.
about. It's about money. So what do you expect when you open up Pandora's box?
Yeah, I mean,
Kids are gonna kids are gonna get involved.
yeah, and I think there's greed. Greed's at the core of all of this, right? So it's like you have players, let's just say on the college basketball side, I think you have a lot of players, let's say in the past when they weren't getting NIL, and you got players coming into situations where they may not have money, and then I don't know, a bookie or middleman, whoever it is, comes to them like, "Hey, can you throw this game and then get X amount of dollars?" You know, it made sense. And then now, I think there's just so much pressure because gambling is so widespread now and so easily accessible. I think these kids are in the dorm with kids that are betting on their games. You think they're not having these conversations every day? Like, oh, the spread is this. Like, oh, make sure you make your free throws. At the end of the game, or make sure you score 20 points. I'm pretty sure these kids are having these conversations like all the time, probably ever since high school. So now, I think there's just so much more pressure, for these kids to do the unthinkable because it's no longer just, oh, I can make some more money. It's more so I can make a lot of money. And now we're putting money in these kids' hands and, they probably want to make a little more. I assume going back to our chain culture conversation, a guy blows 20K on a chain, I can make that back next game. You know what I mean? So it's, I think we're in a very interesting time where people are seeing more and more ways to get fast money, and I think that you have a lot more pressure from your peers, to perform and things of that nature, all in the spirit of making an extra dollar on a bet, or covering the spread or whatever it may be, and it's really unfortunate that these kids are getting caught up in this and now are getting banned from the game. But yeah, I think that gambling aside, there's I don't know when there's been a time that we've had the integrity of the game. You know what I mean? I think everybody's always looking for an edge. People are always gonna cheat their way to the top, and some people will do anything. Some people, do anything to win. So yeah, man, I think we're in an interesting time, man. I just really hope that these kids will not succumb to this pressure to
It's too late. Like I
make
told you,
money
you
or
opened up Pandora's box already. It's not. Listen
nah, it's
again.
too late.
When
It's
you
gonna
have
keep
NIL,
happening.
let me ask you: when you have NIL monies coming in now, do you seriously think that the money that's in that bag isn't still there? Of course it is. You didn't have it go away. It did. Oh, we're gonna get paid now. NIL money. So, whew, no more money given to kids illegally. No one's getting more money. Look it. I'm not versed on this. I had no interest in it. But didn't something happen with Steve Ballmer and
Oh
Kawhi
yeah,
Leonard?
yeah.
They got paid to get around the salary cap? Is that what happened?
Hey, people do anything.
I'm
Everybody's
saying,
looking
right?
for an edge.
But wait a
Yeah.
minute. So they have all that money. This guy Ballmer's a billionaire, right? He has all that money, yet he's still looking to do something that isn't legal or by
Right.
NBA rules, right? So when you have this NIL stuff coming in, means nothing about other monies coming in. And now
Mm-hmm.
these kids, as you brought up, are being pressured, maybe in the dorm rooms. But if you look, it's never going. It's like what they say. You already you can't put the toothpaste back in the toothpaste tube. You have, and I'm not on this social media crap with all these guys, but they're getting death threats. These kids,
Yeah.
you cost me $1,000 on this game.
Oh
You missed a
yeah.
field goal. They're college kids. I get it, and they are getting paid now. But once you started taking that money, now you're in the real world. That's now open because no kid. Okay, think about this. You have illegal bookmakers, and again, all of these kids out there were betting, but they
Mm-hmm.
were betting illegally. So you can't go on your whatever you want, your whatever the crap it is, and say, "Hey, dude, you just cost me $5,000 on that missed field goal, or you didn't make that bucket." How could you do that? Because it was illegal. But
Right.
now that it's legal, that's part of this, and that's the pressure that these kids are now going to have on them. And they go out there and they say, "Oh my God, I had to shut off my account. I don't read it anymore because people are threatening me." Well, what did you expect? And that is a ripple effect of the greed that is brought in by the leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you have these so called fringe players in pro basketball that got caught, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What was it? Who was it? John Tay Porter? Who was the first
Jonte
one?
Porter, Malik Beasley. I don't think he was wrapped up in some allegations. I think Terry Rozier was wrapped up in some allegations
Okay.
recently,
But
all within
Porter
the
is
last
now
year.
kicked out of the league, right?
Right, right, right. Jonte
Because
Porter's
he
out of the
said,
league.
"Oh well, I twisted my ankle. I'm going to play for less than 10 minutes," and they bet that
Yeah, yeah,
money. I didn't get a
yeah.
rebound.
Right,
That's all over the place, and that's what kids are going to always do because it's more money.
right,
Because you're never going to have enough of money.
right.
But this is what has transpired. And again, I'm going up the ladder, reversing it in the greed of the pro sports.
Mm-hmm.
It's hypocrisy. It's just a total joke to me. Now, I don't know if you're making $40 million a year, you're gonna go risk it on gambling, but middle guys probably will and probably are. It's like
Yep.
people tell me, guys, oh, one of the athletes was caught drunk driving. I go, okay, that's the one time he got caught.
Mm-hmm.
You think this is the first time he's been drinking and driving? Dude's
Right,
probably
right,
drinking and
right,
driving 100 times. He just got caught now. That's all.
right.
So all this crap is going on. It's been going on forever, and it's not going to stop. It is not going to stop, and it's a shame. But I just don't like the whole thing of it. It just is horrible that you're talking about integrity of a game, yet now you're in bed with the bookmakers. That's
Yeah.
all. It's stupid. But are they going to give it up, Anthony?
No, they definitely not. I
And
don't
why
think
is that?
because there's a lot of money
Billions
involved.
of dollars. I watched
There's
a
a lot
commercial
of
before in a football game, for God's sake. Uh, the actor John Hamm bet, MGM, be
mm-hmm.
legendary. All these commercials, they paint this beautiful picture of everybody winning, Kevin Hart, all those guys getting paid to promote this stuff, Jamie
Yeah.
Foxx, and it's all everyone's winning. Everybody's winning. I wish you had an honest commercial where 99% of the guys like, "Oh my God, I just lost all my money. Oh my God, what am I going to do now?" It's always high fiving and collecting the chips and winning the bets. It's fantasy. It's fantasy. But again, it's money. So let's go NFL, promote it, promote it, promote it. NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey, promote it all. And then they give you
Yeah.
this little thing after this big hoopla of it for about half a second at the bottom. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, they want to throw that olive branch out there, man. But I think even crazier, and I don't know if it'll get like this in the States, but like overseas, like I've been a part of teams where like the owner has been like, "Yo, y'all losing this game," and I clearly had some money on the outcome, but internationally, let's say soccer or basketball, I think it's more prevalent because the owners have to pay the salaries if the sponsors cover the salaries, and sometimes the
Okay.
sponsors are late. So it's like, okay, if you were expecting a sponsor to give you, $50 or $100,000 for the month, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna be late. Instead of that coming out of your pocket, you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna have my team lose this game. I'm gonna bet,
Wow.
against the spread, and then you end up losing the game. Funny story. One of a former chameleon that ran your stairs and your
Talk
sand
to
hills.
me.
Yeah, we're not gonna say any names. Maybe I'll
No
tell you off
names.
air. But he told me that he was in China, and he said in China, owner comes into the locker room like, "Look, y'all are losing this game, whatever it is." But I guess him and the other American in their contract, they would have had a bonus if they won the game. So the owner saying y'all supposed to lose. They looking at each other like, yo, we got a big bonus on this. They like, nah, we going out, we winning this game. So they go out and they win the game. He said that he went to, I guess, dinner and was sitting at a bar eating after the game, and some big security looking dude walked up to him, and like slapped him or punched him, and they got
Really?
into this whole scuffle or whatever, and then somebody told him that the guy came from the owner to send a message. So, this whole gambling thing, excuse me, this whole gambling thing, I think it's widespread, it's global. I think it has more of an impact in Europe just because of the business model of, let's just say basketball or maybe even soccer in some countries. I don't think it'll get to that extreme here in the States where it's happening rather consistently. But I think in Europe, Asia, internationally, it probably happens a little more than we think. I mean, I've had teammates in France that got in
Well,
trouble
aren't some of the owners
for
a little
betting.
shady over there?
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean,
Okay.
there's
That's
yeah,
probably
you,
why.
you got a lot of stuff going on overseas. You got, shady, you got the mafia, you got a lot of different things,
Well, that's what
depending
I'm
on where you
saying.
at.
So they're all involved in it. So that's big money in their pockets as being an owner of a team is just another way to make money for them. I don't
Oh,
know if there's an
100%.
owner over here that's going to
No,
do
no, no.
that.
I mean,
I think
that's
they're
that's
vetted. I
peanuts
think
for
they're
them.
vetted too well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's peanuts for them. But yeah, I mean, I just think the presence of gambling is not going to leave sports. I think is it's going to be there. We just got to figure out ways for I guess the players to better manage, I guess their impulses to, come up on a quick bag, or whatever it is, just for throwing a game, which is pretty idiotic. But I mean, I've had teammates in the past, or yeah, I've had teammates in the past that got in trouble for it. I've
But see here,
heard stories of
okay,
throwing
it's going to
games.
come down to it's going to come down to it didn't hurt anybody. Okay, with the
Hmm.
players
Right.
because if you have an opportunity, again, look at I'm not going to say anything if I'm not living that a life that I'm in their shoes. I don't make judgment on people. You know, Everyone has issues in life people don't know about. What people see on the surface is not that whole person's life unless they're really close to them. So
Right.
you don't know what's going on. Okay. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying you don't know what's going on behind the closed door, right?
Hmm.
So you have situations where they're saying, well, we're favored by 5.5.
Okay.
Who cares if we win the game by 5?
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The problem is, it does matter on the other side of that line. You're going to have winners and you're going to have losers,
Yeah.
okay, in a game, right? Can't all win. And that's where the dangers come in with some of these guys. Because just as you don't know what your problems are fixing that game, you don't know who's out there who has stuff going on and a lot of stress and pressures where that
Oh
money,
yeah.
okay, that money would change that person. You look at
Oh,
games
100%.
right now. I mean, just I watch games, a call here, a drop pass there, and people start to wonder. This is why I go back to the hypocrisy, and they say the integrity of the game. Okay, every play that is out there that's questionable, you're going to wonder
Hmm.
a referee's call. and was it Tim Donaghy? What was it? Was guy
Yeah,
Donaghy?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Donnie or
And
whatever. Yeah.
you look at all the calls that guy made to get paid.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the integrity of the game, yet you are now pushing it to people to gamble. ESPN has their own what sports book now or something like
Oh
that.
yeah,
It's
they got a
advertised. Bet ESPN. That to me again is insanity. You're pushing to gamble to people because
yeah.
it's going to put money in your pocket. Yet at the same time, you're saying, well, everything's honest. When you know that because now it's out there and they're gambling, it's not, in my opinion, honest. It's going to happen all the time. This is not the this is the drunk driving analogy I used. You think that these are the only guys fixing games in high school, in college, or possibly in pro? No, they're the only
Yeah.
ones that got caught.
Right. Right.
Okay, the only ones that got caught. And I don't care how many eyes are out there in Las Vegas, all those watchers that go, why is there so much money on Colorado State? You know, Fresno State game. That's
Right.
weird. $2,000 bet gets 15. Let's research. There are a ton of other games. You can't watch them all. Can't
Okay,
watch them
so
all.
here's something for you. So we talk about people fixing the actual game, like players on the court. Now, there's also a narrative that like the NBA is rigged from the backside on the back end. They're saying like, you know, okay, Luka Doncic gets traded and now Dallas gets the number one pick miraculously, or San Antonio gets the number one pick and gets Victor. Like, there's all these narratives floating around that the NBA is rigged and that the NFL is rigged or whatever it may be. All these sports entities are rigged, and what's your thought on that? Do you think that there
Well,
could
when was
be
Patrick Ewing drafted? 1985?
before my time? Yeah, probably.
1985. Before my time, I still go back in history books. So
Okay.
1985, I believe Dave DeBusschere was the GM of the Knicks. And they at that time they had that, I guess, that little wheel that you spun around, tickets
Okay.
in it, I don't know. And they always say, oh, the Knicks reached in and it was taped to the bottom of the barrel. Oh, we got Patrick Ewing. Okay. Because of the market
Okay.
that you have, the New York market needs to succeed.
Mm.
Okay? Again, everything, if you follow the money trail and basically everything in life, it goes back to the money.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
Politics, money, sports, it's all money.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt. Look, I remember Bucks Sixers. I think it was 2000. Was it 2000 or 1999? The Bucks were playing the Sixers to go to the NBA Finals, and
Bucks playing.
they were
Who was
going to
on the
play the
Bucks at that
Lakers.
time?
Huh?
Who was on the Bucks at the time?
Sam Cassell, Ray Allen. Uh,
Yeah, those.
they had a good team. Ernie Grunfeld was the president of the team.
Oh yeah, that was 2000. Yeah, 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 that was
Was it
2000. Oh, you talking
2000?
about Allen Iverson Sixers?
Yeah. You had
Yeah,
Sam
yeah, yeah,
Cassell
yeah,
with
yeah. It
them.
was
You
like
had
2000 and
Ray Allen.
2001, I think. Yeah, it
Now,
was 2000, 2001.
I think George Karl was the Bucks coach.
Yeah, it might
Anyway,
have been.
I was fortunate enough to go to each one of those games, all seven
Hmm.
games.
Hmm.
And the Bucks had that one. And I believe it was game 6. And the Bucks lost, I think, by 3. I'm not sure. I forget. But all I know is there was some two crazy ass calls against the Bucks. And it was almost like, wait a minute. And we had conversations of saying, wow, they don't want the Bucks to go to the finals.
Hmm.
Bucks Lakers as a draw for TV, for ratings, for money
Right, right,
isn't Allen Iverson
right.
Sixers against Shaq and Kobe at the Lakers.
100%.
I definitely think that was fixed.
Yeah. And
No
like
question.
when you think about it, like if I owned the NBA and I was running the NBA, obviously you're running a business and you want it to be as profitable as possible. You would want those outcomes as well. I mean, especially when you're in the growing stages. It's different when you're an established entity and the numbers are fairly stable or maybe plateauing. But I think in the NBA, like people think that the NBA has been what it's been forever. Like it wasn't always this lucrative and this juggernaut of a league. Like it grew like anything else. And so
Dude,
I think,
The Lakers against the Sixers, Magic Johnson's first year was tape delayed. It wasn't even
yeah,
live on TV.
yeah, I heard
That's when
about
they
that.
always say Bird and Magic saved the NBA. It was in a
Hmm.
toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
think
so
about
it's like
that.
if
The
you're growing
NBA
a
Finals
business,
is tape delayed.
yeah, so if you're growing a business, you're gonna do whatever you have to do to make sure that that business survives, number one, and then hopefully that it continues to grow. And I mean, it's like if you can get that done with the simple phone call, and you put Allen Iverson, who's the most probably the most influential basketball player in basketball against Shaq and Kobe, and of course, I do that in a heartbeat if I were the NBA
And why? And
owner,
why would
G
you do that?
commissioner
And why would you do that?
for the money.
For the money.
Yeah, for the money.
Third base comes back to the money.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's a business. It's a business. So like,
Yeah,
yeah, I
but
don't
you
think.
take. But this is where I'm talking about again. I'm going back. I'm repeating myself. Hypocrisy of all these commissioners, all this bullshit that they're selling. Okay. They don't care about the game. They care about the money. Because you want to know something? There have been so many games out there in the
Hmm.
history of all different sports where you have all these upsets that would never occur.
Right.
Okay. Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas, right?
Mm.
You wouldn't have that. There's a lot of different games where you have upsets that would never here. Olympic hockey, right? USA and the Russians in
Hmm.
1980. Well, if you tried to put the best quote unquote teams that you wanted to align in there for ratings, and that's the Olympics, I know it's not going to change anything, but you
Right.
miss out on all of these games that would never have been
Hmm.
for the sake of money. But let me tell you this. Okay, so again, it rolls back to money. You have these ratings. Why do you think they have all these ratings? The NFL, the NBA. I don't know about the NBA's ratings, but the NFL more I'm talking about now. It's
Yeah.
a beast. It's a beast. The NFL shuts everything else down. Do you notice all those games that basketball had around Christmas holidays? Now the NFL is going, no, we're going to take
Yeah. We'll
what
take over Christmas.
knocks them right out. Now, why do you believe that that's always been? You can say it. You
What?
can say it. Go ahead, say it.
I think it's because of the money.
Gambling,
Yeah,
gambling,
gambling. Yeah.
gambling. Listen, you think all these people go out there to watch these dudes, okay, and watch these games? They haven't. Listen, it's always been gambling, illegal gambling. Every Saturday, college football. Every Sunday, pro football. Gambling has pushed the meter on watching those games. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it comes out where all of a sudden fantasy football is invented. Fantasy football is gambling. Now more people are going to watch who never cared about actually betting money on the games, but now they're winning money on fantasy football. So you have more viewers.
Yeah.
More viewers buy more of the sponsors' products. More sponsors' products bought, more contracts made by TV and the leagues, more money, more money. It's all from gambling.
I
Viewership, in my
think,
opinion.
but I think, I think there's a strong potential for this to get worse. Just
It will.
because everything, because we're in this digital era, right? So like, think about as NIL grows. I feel like the college players are probably the most vulnerable to these temptations, as opposed to like NBA players and whatnot. But I think as NIL continues on and these kids start getting more money, like let's think about like, okay, they're getting caught because they're placing these large bets, and these companies are able to flag it, and then this investigation ensues, and it's like, what happens if they're starting to do this through like crypto, and things are starting to be untraceable or whatever it is. Like, I think at that point, you're gonna have a lot more college athletes that might, succumb to that temptation, as somebody's going to figure out a way to get it done, to the point these players can't be traced. And I think that's when it's going to really become a problem.
Oh, it's not.
Just
It's not if.
with
It's
the way
when.
that, yeah, that's what I'm saying. When like technology gets advanced to the point that we're not able to trace how money moves and where it goes, and I think whatever they're able to figure that out and make it accessible to these college athletes, it's going to be even more of a problem. And and that's where I say that, like, I think, sadly, I think the college athletes are probably, for people that are looking to cheat and fix games and stuff like that, I feel like college athletes are probably the target, because a lot of these kids, they haven't made a ton of money. Like, they have a lot more temptations, along with just your decision making and your thinking just being off at that age. Like, you just not mature enough to weigh the consequences in a lot of situations, man. So it's really unfortunate to think about and to see. But what's funny is, like, have you ever heard of like a coach getting caught up in like fixing games or anything like that?
Um, yeah, yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was back when I was playing. Must have been about 12, and our coach gave the other team, because we were wrecking everybody. Our
Oh, we're
coach
not
gave the
talking
other
about a
team
rec league
28
game,
points. He
Frank.
says, "Hey, you guys better win by 30, or else your ass is in trouble." I'm like, "What?" And we had to win by 30. He was cool though. He was cool though. He gave points to every coach that we played, because we beat him all the time. I'll give you 30 points. Now, listen, I'm sure, I'm sure there is stuff out there. Again, you don't see it. It's there,
Yeah.
absolutely. Again, when it comes to money, people are going to do stuff, and they're going to do it because it's at. What's the matter? What's it matter?
Yeah.
Because and once you do it, it becomes easier and easier to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, we won the game by 4. Who cares? Who cares? I got money now. I got 5,000 in my pocket. We won the game. I didn't hurt my team. We won the game.
Yeah.
And then it becomes easier and easier to do it. And then
Yeah.
there's going to come a point where your team may have to lose, and then you change, and then your performance goes down the toilet bowl. So it's going
Yeah.
to always be there, Anthony. It's only going to get worse. And like I said, once you started this path of the big boys in the leagues saying it's okay to gamble now, it's okay. Now, and again, you don't have to know anybody. You don't have to go offshore. You have it on your phone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You can be in class. Boom, boom, boom. Done. Done. Hey, dude, I just bet 1,500. And
Yeah.
then the
That's
pressure goes on these guys. Listen, there's pressure on guys that don't gamble. You understand?
how you
There's
figure.
pressure on. Okay. So again, you have a team. So
Yep.
if you bet on a college football game, and your team, okay, this kid at Tennessee. Now I don't know the spread from the Tennessee Georgia game. Watched the game last night. Kid comes in. I think it's a 44-yard field goal. This kid Gilbert on Tennessee.
Hmm.
If he makes it, they win the game. He missed. They went to overtime. He kicks the same exact field goal in overtime. They give them 3 points, but then Georgia comes down and scores a touchdown.
Okay.
So there are kids that aren't even involved in the gambling
Oh,
side of
right.
it,
Right.
and they're going to get pressure on them from college students. That's why I said these kids are getting death
Oh,
threats
yeah.
now.
100%.
They're people are going into their, what do you call these things? You tap into your DM or something.
Oh, DM. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What is that?
They're getting all kind of death threats from
Yeah. So they go into these
direct
kids'
message.
things, and it can have nothing to do with it. But you know what? That wouldn't have happened prior. But now, since again it's out there, hey asshole, you just cost me 5 grand, and like what? And you busted your ass. But you can't always control the outcome of a game when you do 100%, right? And give
Yeah.
100% effort. So you're gonna have kids that are getting involved in it, that are doing it for the money, but you're still gonna have a collateral damage of that, or kids that have nothing to do with it, but they're still gonna get pressure on them, and they're still gonna get death threats, which is crazy for them losing these games.
Yeah,
Because
no,
some
it's
knucklehead stands going, oh, I'm going to bet $500 on him making this field goal. It's stupid.
nah,
But
it is. It's
you,
retarded.
not you, but the powers that be in all these sports and here college football, all you see on TV is the gambling commercials.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
Bet with your
But like
head. Bet with your head,
I
not over it.
I remember back in the you remember Jimmy Clausen from Notre Dame, the quarterback back in the day. This is like 15 years ago, Frank.
Okay.
Well, anyway, Jimmy Clausen was the quarterback of like Notre Dame, and I remember this because like at Stanford, they were coming to play Stanford, and I guess the week prior, Notre Dame had like lost the game. Something happened. I guess they didn't cover the spread or something. And if I remember this correctly, I may be telling the story wrong, but I think Jimmy went to a restaurant, I think with his family or something after the game, and something happened. He got punched or something like that. So Jimmy had a black eye. And the only reason I heard about this or I knew about this is because the Stanford student section at the football game, they were all wearing black eyes to, antagonize Jimmy Clausen. And I remember hearing that story and I was like, man, I was probably a gambler. You know what I mean? It was probably a gambler. Like, who would just run up and just punch a college athlete randomly? Like, you know what I'm
Someone that
saying?
lost a shitload of money.
Right. Somebody lost a shitload of money, and oh, if I saw Jimmy Clausen, this is what I do to him, and then somebody's like, yo, there he goes right there with his mom and his nephew or whatever, and
But
you
see,
know,
I've always thought it was insane. Okay. Now I've ton of your games, ton of Danny's games. You go,
yeah, yeah,
and I just be watching, and I go, who in their right mind? Okay, because again, I don't know who's fixing and who's not fixing in college,
right,
but I go, these are 18-year-old kids, 19-year-old kids on a basketball court, and you're betting that they're gonna. You know what I'm saying? You guys don't give a shit. You know what I'm
right,
saying? You're playing. You're oblivious to it. The guys that aren't involved in this are oblivious to it. And now this kid misses a free throw at the end of the game. Listen, you're going back to your dorm. You don't know what's
yeah,
going
yeah.
on. This guy just
Let
lost
the
ten
guy get
thousand
the
because he didn't hit
layup
the
the
free
last 30
throw.
seconds. Let him get the layup. Yeah, you're not
Yeah, you
tripping
know what
off
I'm
those
saying?
points. Yeah, no, straight
Fouling
up.
the guy. I saw a thing on ESPN. It was so funny. Scott, Scott Van Pelt and the other dude on there. I think they call him Stanford Steve,
Okay,
and they have bad beats. And I think it's Mondays. It's so funny because it's bad bet. They all bet, right? And it's bad beats is where you show where you're up by a gazillion points, and at the end you lose the game. So there was
okay,
one game where um, I think it was in the Southeast Conference, a basketball game, and you see the guy they highlight him at the bottom of the screen. This dude just comes over half court. Game's over. Game is over. They're down by like 7. And the kid
hmm,
just throws it up and it goes in. And you see the guy like cover his head and go like he's freaking out because the line in that game was like 4.5. And this
okay.
kid shot the ball and it went by 4. And it's like, and this is what these kids are oblivious on. So I go, why are you betting with to put your money in the hands of these kids? I never understood it. Never
Yeah.
understood it. Did you think about that stuff when you were on the court?
No, of course not. Like you never
Okay.
know. But then again, you probably think back to all the times I probably got a call the night before a game. Hey, how you feeling? How are your legs? How's Brooke Lopez? Is he feeling like, you probably have these conversations just
Wow.
randomly with people. Like,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
you probably never even think about like they're fishing for information, but you would never
Sure.
know because you're just playing basketball. Like, oh yeah, we had a good week of practice and all this other stuff. Like, Brooks' girlfriend broke up with him or whatever it is, and then this guy's like, oh, okay, Brooks gonna have a bad game. I don't know, but you
Anthony,
know, you,
that's real. That's exactly why they
oh,
were calling him.
100%. I'm sure it's happened, and like, but as a kid, you're not even thinking about that. You're thinking about the game. You're thinking about whatever girl you got sitting in the stands. Like, you got
Sure.
so many other distractions that it's not even crossing your mind at that point. But yeah, there are vultures, circling around, just trying to do whatever they can to put a couple extra dollars in their
And
pocket.
now they're not
And
circling; they're just out. It's all out in the open now.
yeah,
And
nah,
for people
it's
that don't want to believe that, they have blinders on. They have
yeah.
blinders
So
on
so
because
what's the solution, Frank?
the
How do you
solution is
end the
never the
gambling
solution is
problem
never
within
going
the
to
United States?
solution is never going to happen. It's called go back to throwing that money, give it back to those places, shut down those sites. Can't bet. You can't bet.
Oh, you think they'll have to shut down gambling as a whole
Well, legally, it's never going to stop
legally?
illegally,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
but
yeah.
legally because now again, the guy who you're going to stop, those kids aren't going to be threatened in public. They're not going to be
Okay.
threatened on their Instagrams because people aren't going to expose themselves. Why would you be threatening this kid? What reason? Oh, you lost money betting illegally, and
Hmm.
then law enforcement can follow up on that.
Yeah,
But again,
yeah,
that's why I
yeah.
said the hypocrisy is the hypocrisy of these leagues. It's just too funny. And again, it goes back to this Pete Rose. He bet on sports. So what? Ton of guys bet on sports.
Yeah.
Ton of guys. And then they said he bet on baseball. He didn't bet on his team to lose. So you're gonna gambling in baseball very bad. Oh, I can't gamble on it. Now every game, 9,000 commercials. Bet on the game. Bet on baseball. ESPN. Bet your app.
Yeah,
What happened? What
yeah.
happened to? There's no shame. There's no shame in it. This is going to be good for the game. How is it good for the game now? So, 10 years ago, it wasn't good for the game. Now all of a sudden, it's good for the game. How is that? For here, I'll even go back. What did they have? 1908 Black Sox scandal. It was Shoeless Joe Jackson. Whatever they
Before
bet on
my
the World
time. Before my
Series.
time. Tell me about it.
Okay, well, let's see. I was about 20 at that time. So, um, it was I think the Cincinnati Reds against the Chicago White Sox. That's why I call them the Black Sox. And the White Sox team was like the best team there ever was. And this guy Rothstein, he was a gambler in New York. He rigged the World Series, and he got the
Ah,
top
yeah, yeah, yeah,
players
yeah.
for them to
I
fix
saw
it.
that on a Boardwalk Empire TV
Okay,
show.
and
Yeah.
Joe Jackson, Shoeless Joe Jackson couldn't even write or read. He had to put an X on his contract. But there were other
Hmm.
guys that made money. And so it happened then. So the integrity of the game was from 1908. You banned these guys. I think it was this guy Landis was the commissioner, uh, but you banned them for life. So
Is that
that
the proper
changes now. So the
punishment though?
integrity of the game from 1908 to Pete Rose in whatever it was in the 80s, whatever the hell he was doing it,
Yeah.
and now it's changed. Why is that? How was it changed?
But what's a worthy punishment for let's say throwing a game? You think they deserve jail time or for betting on a game and influencing the integrity of the game?
No,
What's the
can't
proper punishment?
suspend them, and fine them.
Suspe- you don't think a ban is necessary?
No, because again, the guys are doing it. Yeah, you may get stupid enough to get caught, but again, if you're banning Pete Rose for life and keeping me out of the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame because he gambled, guy has what 4,256 hits is the record for hits
Hmm.
in his career.
Hmm.
He's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame because he gambled. Yet now you're taking tons and tons of cash from gambling in your sport. You don't see anything. You don't see the hypocrisy of that.
No, I see what you're saying. I see what you're
So, and that's
saying.
in the NFL. Here, back in the day, uh, Paul Horning. Now he was Alex Karras was a Detroit Lions defensive. I think it was in the '60s, and Paul Horning was with the Packers. He was supposed to be like the best guy, or whatever, back then, and they were suspended for gambling on games.
Okay.
Okay. Well, if it was no good then it should still be no good now. I want someone to tell me why it's okay now. What happened? Why is it okay now? It wasn't okay then. It wasn't okay again. 10 years. When does this gambling stuff start now? 10 years is it?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay. What happened? Did balloons fall from the sky? Well, did a rainbow crack open? Did someone say it's okay now? It's okay to gamble on all sports and put it out there legally on your phone, on your apps. Promote it. NFL. And listen, you had back in the day this guy Jimmy the Greek. He would be on the NFL Today, and they had gambling, like they give the point spread, but you couldn't. It was taboo to mention anything. And then
Okay.
Brent Musburg, you know Brent Musburg, he was a famous broadcaster. He now, I think he's an older guy. He has, I don't know if he still has it, but he has a show in Las Vegas. Now he was famous for always saying things, even till he retired a couple of years ago, into saying, "Oh, there's got to be people out there that are happy, and there's got to be people out there that are sad on that play." Chris Fowler, they don't
Okay, I
mention it.
got you.
They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
mention
yeah,
it,
yeah.
but they didn't go
Indirectly.
directly to it. But
Right.
now they can. Now
Yeah.
again, now it's listen. I was watching the Alcaraz and Sinner in the U.S. Open. They're having as real time as it's going, the odds changing to bet
Mm.
on ESPN
Yeah.
live,
Yeah.
and then promoting it. So I need to know when this became okay. It became okay because they said shitload of money, shitload of money, and I went through before. Ratings become money. Sponsors goes through. Listen, I'll take you back. My cousin, this is again before my time. My cousin, huge New York Knicks fan. He tells me, now you know who Marv Albert is?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Marv Albert, this is back in the day, he said it was Earl Monroe and Walt Frazier.
Hmm.
So he's like, he goes, he'll never forget it. He told me the story over and over again. He goes, I'll never forget this. I go, what? He goes, they're playing the Portland Trailblazers. The Knicks are up by 10 with 10 seconds left, and the spread was 5.5 points.
Okay.
And the Knicks have the ball.
Okay.
You're up by 10 with 10 seconds left, and you have the ball to inbound it. They inbound the ball. Dave Twardzik, he was a guard on Portland, intercepts it, makes a layup. They're up by 8. Knicks inbound the ball again. Lionel Hollins intercepts it. They're up by 6. Now there's like 2 seconds left of the game or so. The Knicks just throw the ball to Earl Monroe, and he just turns like this around, and he hits it. He shoots into his own basket.
Oh.
They won, they win by 4. Now he goes on. He goes. Marv Albert says, "Oh my God!" He says, "Listen, everybody out there knows the line." And he said, "He goes. It was 5.5 points. There's got to be some kind of investigation." And Monroe's in his locker going, "What?" He goes, the game was over. I just threw it in my own basket. Who cares?" You know how much money swing that was? 10
Right,
point
right,
lead.
right.
So this shit's been going on forever, and now it's just again out there. You're not gonna stop it, Anthony.
Can you imagine the emotional roller coaster of thinking you probably have a bet won with 10 seconds left, and something like that happens? That would be
But that makes you
insane.
wonder who had the right side.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
No, I get
understand?
you. I get
Okay,
you.
guys missing free throws at the end of games. Again, it doesn't matter. They're up by 8. The line is 7.5. Oh, you missed it. But this was ridiculous. Again, this was the one thing that stuck in his head forever. He goes, "Listen to me." I go, I get it. He's like, no. 10 points with 10 seconds left, and you have the ball.
Yeah,
How do they score 6 points and you shoot into your own basket?
yeah, that's
Why
crazy.
didn't Monroe? Why didn't Monroe just catch the ball 2 seconds left and drop it on the floor?
Nah, I feel you. Or throw the ball in the air. Just
No.
let the time run out.
Here, you're inbound the ball to me. I just drop it on the floor. The game's over. He took it like
Right.
that. Now, I'm not saying Earl Monroe was involved in gambling. I'm not saying it, but it
No, of
makes you
course not.
wonder what's going on. But
Right.
now it's okay to do it. It's okay to gamble.
So they
There is no
say.
end in sight, Anthony. There's no end in sight, folks. None.
So we just got to live with it, and then just hope that these athletes can respect the honor code and,
There's
and
no
do what
hope.
this
There's no
do.
respect. They're gonna listen to me. There's always going to be someone that's going to do this.
Right.
Now, again, they may need money for a family member. Who the hell knows? I'm not saying that there's going to be a reason for them to do it. They may have
Hmm.
a valid reason for themselves because, again, no one's going to take care of them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No one really gives a rat's ass about people. They do their own thing. And this kid saying, "Hey, my upbringing, wherever I'm from, maybe I'm not from a rich family, maybe I can't have access to money, and someone in my family needs money. For what? I don't know. Would you do that to help that person? And if you didn't affect the team win, I don't
Right.
know who's okay, so you're not going to blame them, but it's always going to be there, always.
Yeah, 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 for sure.
And
For sure.
again, this is why when you have all these dopes on TV, all these guys with their gambling shows, it's all money. It's all money.
Yeah.
And these other dopes that follow these guys on these gambling shows, you know what these guys do? They get call now 1-800 I win.
Mm-hmm.
And what they're doing is they're giving half the people to one team and half the people the other team. So you're going to be half right. You call the one guy. I told you, I
Yeah.
picked that game. It was a lock, my lock of the year. And then the other guy goes, listen, I don't know how that got by me, but I have another lock for you. And you
Yeah.
got to be right once in a while. So it's just about money, and people fall into it. And now you have the NIL. You have them having some money, making more money. And who knows who's behind those kids? Agents, I don't know. It just goes
Yeah.
down the line because you have guys right now that are quote unquote guardians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guardians,
Mm-hmm.
mentors for these players. And they're just basically saying, hey, I'll send you to this school because I'm getting paid. People actually make money by sending kids and directing kids to schools and get paid. This is just another avenue for it.
Yo, is it illegal for, let's say, like parents to gamble? So let's say you have a son that's playing for Notre Dame football, and you know you bet on the game. Like you place a hefty wager on the Notre Dame football game. Is that illegal?
I
If
don't
you
see how it
never
could
spoke to
be.
the
I
kid
don't.
about the outcome, if you never did anything, is it illegal for your
I hear you.
parents?
I don't see how it could be because how could you trace it? Here, if my son is playing for a team,
Yeah.
I'm going to root for my son to win, right? I'm not going to bet against him, but
Well, what if you bet
my
against them?
uncle, his uncle could do it. Listen, it's like stocks. Stocks are
Yeah.
gambling. You have insider trading, right?
Right.
You know how much crap is going on with insider trading, but no one gets caught?
Mm-hmm.
All these politicians out there. Oh, how did you know when to buy that stock? How did you know when to sell that stock?
Yeah.
Shit. It's going on. It's going on. That's gambling. It's going on all the time. So you can't prove that that person's cousin's brother did it. He could do it for you. I can't see that.
Yeah. Look, we got Marcatus left a message for us in the chat. He says some games are rigged. That's just facts.
Thank you, Marcadis. You got it, buddy.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%. It's no
Yeah.
question. And again, I'm
Nah.
not here to judge. I'm just speaking fact. Listen, every time we're on this podcast now, I'll always speak in fact and my opinion. A lot of this is my opinion, some of it is fact. You can disagree with me if you want, but don't hide behind the crap that they're throwing out there. We all know it's bullshit, and we all know it's all about these guys getting paid at the top, and it trickles down. Oh,
No, that's
hey, someone out there answer the question: why is it okay to gamble now with the NBA, NHL, Major League, and NFL if it wasn't 10 years ago? They found, oh, God forbid, no. This guy's gambling. Oh, my God. It's never happened before in our league. It's the integrity of the game. Oh. Now, oh, sure. Have at it. Have at it.
oh man, nah, I feel you, man.
Ridiculous.
But as we wrap up, man, let's give us a life changing nugget, man, as we head into this
Never go
as
to
we head into
bed
this week.
angry. Never go to bed angry. If you're married out
Okay,
there,
so if I place
always
a bet and
tell
I
yours.
lose, if I place a bet and I lose, don't go to bed angry. What should I
No, you
do?
know why? Here, I'll tell you why. If you do gamble out there, understand this. Don't gamble unless you're an extremely good winner and an extremely good loser. It's a risk. That's why they call it gambling. It's not a sure thing unless, of course, you're on the side where you know it's rigged.
Fair enough. And my
Yeah.
advice is don't gamble at all.
Again, but see,
Let's
people
put the
like it.
integrity.
Listen, they've been gambling since the Stone Age.
I
Okay.
understand.
Who here? I'll roll the rocks. Who's going to go out and try to get us a meal so I'm not eaten by a dinosaur? Up, you win. You're out forever. Just be
Nah,
careful.
no, that's a fact, man. But nah, we appreciate everybody that tapped in with us on the podcast and everybody who watches this tape delayed like the NBA once was. We hope
Yes.
you would enjoy it
And
as
tell your
well.
friends. The more viewers we get, the more we get out there,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Tell a
more
friend
we'll
and
be
tell a
able to call
friend.
people out and hold them accountable. We have a lot of topics to go over.
All right, Frank. But yeah, we'll be back next Sunday. We appreciate y'all tapping in with us, and we're out.